2025 BMW M5 Touring, aka wagon. And I'm going to start off right with the big thing. This car is big and this car is heavy. And people who have reviewed it would love to complain about it and say that it is big and heavy. Well, guess what? It's heavy because basically of European rules. What happened was, in order for BMW to make this car, especially to retain the V8 engine, to meet certain European emissions rules, I guess, they had to go with a hybrid version. So it's got a big ass heavy battery, and the charging system and all that, and all the electric motors that goes along with it, in addition to the conventional V8 engine and the 8-speed transmission and the all-wheel drive system. So this is why it's heavy. But, you know, they're saying that the weight affects the way it drives. Yeah, it does. How it handles. Yes, it's physics. But hold up. What are we talking about here? We're talking about an M5. M5 was always the, executive salon to get from his office to his mistress's house, 100 kilometers away down the Autobahn, and then be back home to his wife and whoever. Yes, I'm being overly sexist, but roll along with me, right? That's who these cars were for. That's who these cars were intended for. M5s were never light, and I say this as a former E28 M5 owner. That car was light, but relatively at the time it was heavier than most because it always has been a big, comfortable saloon or sedan, as they call it. So room for 5 and plenty of trunk and a lot of power, but it's the kind of power that you would use on the highway, on the Autobahn, on an open road. This car can, I think, approach 200 miles an hour before it stops speed. 155, but with the package that this one has, we'll get to that later, this thing can approach 200 miles an hour, and I have no doubt that it easily can do this. So that is your weight issue right there. So let's get it off our chest and move on. Now, well, if you have weight, you can't brake very well. Yes, this is why, especially this car, has huge ass carbon ceramic rotors in this case. That's an $8,500 option. And this is my first experience with carbon ceramic rotors. And holy crap, do they grip. There is no delay. You press the pedal and that thing just stops as fast as it accelerates. And it accelerates 0 to 60 in about between 3 and 3.5 seconds. And the brakes are, somewhat equivalent of that. Yes, brakes always accelerate negatively faster if you want to argue the physics. But you know what I mean. It's like the chassis and the brakes are worthy of the engine here. Then they're saying handling. Listen. These are Michelin Pilot Sport 5s. Those are 20s in the front, 20 in the back, 295, 35, 21 in the back, a little bit smaller up front. And they grip. Yes, they fight a lot of weight. But if you are concerned about handling, then you bought the wrong damn car. You might as well just have bought an X5 if you're concerned about handling, and then you want to complain that it doesn't exist, because this is bigger than the X5. At least the footprint, I think, is. You want to handling. You want to talk about, autocrossing. Get an M2. Get an M3. Don't get an M5. You know what it weighs. You know how big it is. That's not, that's not the thing you want to use it for. But anyway, I'll get off on that. This is the charging port. You can go 25 miles an hour if you charge it. I haven't charged it. There's no decrease in power. I think that the electric charge for this is just for driving only. It doesn't change the overall power that the engine puts out. We'll get to that later. I think it's 717 horsepower or something stupid like this. It is fast. It looks proper. It looks like an M5 to me. The dual exhaust reminiscent of the E39. That was the first car that started with dual exhaust. It was a little bit closer at that car. I think in life it looks so much better than in pictures. It just does. I brought it to a car show today. There was a BMW day at Lars Anderson Museum in Brookline, and people were just coming and looking at it in crowds. They couldn't get enough of it. Especially this orange interior. So you get the idea of how it looks on the outside. It looks it looks pretty badass. All right, I love it. Let's get to the business end of things. This is the trunk. I have a crazy card in here. Let's take it out just to show you what we're dealing here with. There's a compartment over here. This is your spare tire inflator and other such associated crap. It gives you the power the power to reverse plug the car into the house and supply power into something. This is a cable that I haven't used. Owner's manual, blah blah blah. This is a really cool car cover. So you can close it like this, and you close the trunk. This is all cool, but a little bit of extra. When you open the trunk, the car cover retracts. It retracts to the next step, because this is the first step, and it retracts to the back step. So that's pretty cool. There is no net that separates the back window from everything else like it was on the other cars. Certainly there was no spare tire. But I thought that was pretty cool. So let's close that. Let me not forget my go-kart. Back here, the seat is set up for me, who's 6'2". Those are some gifts from the show that I was at today. I love this color combination of the interior. Even the rear seats are nice. I don't know if they are heated on this car, but they're not on this model. But they are cooled. USB-Cs over here, little climate control stuff over there. What's nice, and I have a friend who's very specific about it, they are 40-20-40, so you can put your skis through here and you can still have two passengers sit separately and comfortable. But do yourself a favor and put your skis on the roof, okay? This tag over here was somewhat bothering me when I was driving. These have a little thingy over here you can clip. Land Rover had this some time ago. You can clip in like a hanger over here, or some kind of a bag or something. I don't know. They have a ton of accessories and another USB-C, a holder for an iPad or an iPhone for your kids. Actually, that's pretty clever. Bowers and Wilkins audio is pretty amazing. This one has the rear window shades. They're not complete, but close enough. Let's go to the inside. Annoyingly, I always try to keep the engine on whenever I do these videos. Whenever I get out of this car, the engine will just shut off. But that's your modern BMW thing. Like other BMWs of this era, everything is sort of gathered over here for you.
A few moments later.
So, interesting thing happened. I started the engine, my phone connected to the car, and it stopped my video recording. So, take two. All right, let's go back to the inside over here. I've been having a hard time with this whole setup over here. BMW now creates like an island for these controls over here in the middle of the console, and then it just gives you the screens. Once you really figure this out and spend some time with it, you realize that it's not as difficult as it seems. Basically 3 buttons here. This is for your audio, switch to your telephone, and nav. It's smart enough to know when it's using the car factory nav system or when it's using the Apple CarPlay, and it will switch between the two. Very clever. The same thing, this will take you to Apple CarPlay if you have one connected, and the media, depending on what you're listening to, it will give you choices or of AM, FM, or it will take you to, if you're listening to Pandora or something, that to your Pandora app. Volume up and down, next song, previous song. Here is your magnitude of modes available, which is quite crazy. This thing is not charged right now, so I can't put it into any of the hybrid modes. And here it gives you just some of the modes of driving modes, which there is so goddamn many of. It gives you a setup you can get through this screen, through these various components. This gives you the M setup or the chassis setup configuration or the driving modes. I'm in comfort right now, and I kept this thing in comfort the whole time, basically, because even with that, it's great. It handles great and accelerates amazingly. I didn't need to put it in any of those modes. I was fine with it in comfort. I really was. But you do have these plethora of options, and you have two configurations of your own that you can set up any way you want to. This display, this is really cool. Basically, as you're driving, it's telling you how much power you use it, floor it, and it tells you all the power that you're using that's available. You want more power, you have this boost function here from the electric motors. I haven't really played with that because I haven't had enough open road to really just absorb this power then versus this, and I don't like losing my license. But I'm sure this makes a really, really fast car a little bit faster. These red buttons are basically your pre-configured M settings to whatever you want them to be. And you can use the flappy things to make your own shift points. This is nice. This is, carved out over here. This is really cool. Some things I still can't figure out. If we go to audio, let me see if I can get there quickly. If I go to XM radio, I program my favorites, right? It's loading my favorites. So for example, let's go for some Celine Dion, right? My next favorite station in this case, when I go to the next, I don't know what the hell it's doing, but basically my favorites, I can't use the wheel to go through them. I have to go back through all the channel lineups to use this. I haven't, that's the one thing I haven't quite figured it out. But let's go back to the menu. It gives you a lot of shortcuts for everything. So this is your setup, the screen that we were at before. Go back home. This is your navigational system. This is what you're listening to right now. Your phone, I had to disconnect my phone because it stopped recording on me. Personal assistant, I haven't had time to deal with her. This is cool. So this tells you the tire pressure, but also tire temperature for each tire. How cool is that? I mean, it's kind of useless information most of the time, but it's so cool that you actually get to have it. Then it gives you, all the other temperatures and boost. Is this battery temperature? I don't even know what the hell this is. I have to look it up. I don't know what the last one is. Looks like a battery temperature. Traffic on route, it's one of the options. This is your standard maintenance stuff. Route preview, and you can add some more widgets if you want to. Heated steering wheel is over here. Now, if you go to adjust your seats, I'm going to use my left hand over here to adjust my seat. Fuck, it's not doing it. Okay, so if you want to adjust everything, you go over to here, and it gives you all these damn things that you can adjust, and there's so many of them. The engine just started. And if I want to extend this, sorry for going between my legs, this cushion, the sport one that always extends, you have to go into here, you have to select this, and then you press this, and only then is this thing actually extending. You can't do it through the side screen, or you can, but you still need to select it on the screen. There used to be a little lever here, and you could just pull it up and open and close it, and they had to make it more complicated and go through it through the screen. So this screen can be maddening, especially to a generation of people who either use too much screen already or not enough screen because they grew up and got old. I miss the analog gauges. They're not coming back. These screens are cheaper, they're easier to program, they can display more information. Analog gauges are not coming back, and in this case, analog switches may not come back. If you recall the old BMWs, they had a knob over here. Not anymore. You got these buttons. Even here for door locks, this is not a button, this is just a touch button to lock and unlock your doors. I'm not a fan for it. For 2026, these switches are going to be metallic. These are plasticky, and they do feel cheap at a $130,000 car. So they're going to switch them up for next year. If you're ordering your 25 M5 Touring, now you know. Let's go see what this car actually has in here. So for $1,700 is your driving assistant professional. I'm going to put in a comment in the description below what's actually in all of these, because one of them gives you more driving modes, and there is also this M drivers package which raises your top speed, and I keep forgetting which one is which. Executive package gives you illuminated kidney grille, and I couldn't find a way of turning it off. Heated seats front and back. ventilated seats in the front. Gives you this interior camera. I don't know where to find what it records. Somebody's probably recording me and watching me right now. I have no idea. I couldn't find on here what it actually does. Parking Assistant Plus. It tries to park for you. BMW has a really cool, I don't know if it's going to work now. They have a cool reverse feature. It has a start backup assistant. The backup assistant. I live on a narrow, twisty, and actually on an incline, dead-end street, and this thing reversed itself down this street. I should go and make a video of this because it was really that impressive. But it doesn't always work. The one time I tried to put it in reverse, that thing was in here. I was looking for a parking spot for me. See, it's looking for a parking spot over here. And this assistant wasn't available. So again, it's maddening to figure all this crap out. You have vents over here. You turn them on and off by pressing this button. There's an easier way, guys. This is not necessary. This is part of the blue is part of the illumination, which we can see because it's almost dusk over here. Going more down the line, carbon ceramic brakes are $8,500. I question if this is worth it or not. Carbon fiber silver thread HIG. I don't know what HIG is, but it's $300. Where is it? It's over here. You can see it. What is a HIG? It's this. It's really nice, actually. It subtracts, fraction of an ounce from an already overweight vehicle. Versus the other trim. Extended shadow light trim is included. M drivers package, that's the other driver package I was talking about, for $2,500. Destination charges is a reasonable $1,100. But look, gas guzzler tax, $2,600, and it says that it gets 30 miles to a gallon just on the engine. 25 on a highway, and combined city highway is 13. So what does it get? I have no idea what it gets in a city range. But it gets, the combined is 13, which is, it's quite pathetic. It's right up there with Hemi anything, right? Oop, it started moving on me because I was in reverse. That's my bad. But I have this guy. I'm sure it would have stopped me from running over my own go-kart. So yeah, this is basically the interior. It's quite simple. It reminds you in many places that you're driving an M car. This thing here on the seat is actually illuminated. The seat belts have this nice M logo stitched into it. The seats are just amazing. I really love this car. It's amazing to me overall. One thing, the sunroof doesn't open. What you get for a sunroof is you get this huge ass cover, which I'm going to try to open right now. But the sunroof itself is fixed. You can't open it. Instead, you get just this massive, massive, massive glass roof that does allow a lot of light and or heat into the interior. I like this car. I really love this thing. I've owned many BMWs. I've felt out of love with them in the past decade or two. But I got to tell you, this really is bringing me back. I want to spend more time with this car. I really like it. It's nice enough to drive just on daily basis, slowly around town, but step on it and it just goes. It goes like it's mad. It's what an M5 is supposed to be. It's what an M5 always was. Don't listen to the people who tell you otherwise. I live, roads here are crap, and the suspension on this thing, I have nothing to complain about. It's like most sports cars. I don't know what people are complaining about this. This thing is great. That's all I got. This is a really long video now. I hope you enjoyed it. Hugs and kisses. This is BMW's reverse assistant. I am on a very narrow dead-end street. You can see in the corner that it curves. It's also going down, and there's cars parked very close near me. I'm very good at backing down this street. But let's see if this thing can do it by itself. All I'm doing is pressing the brake pedal. Hopefully it will try not to park itself in that spot. So it's doing a great job. It's quite amazing. I've done this in my friend's X7, and it has worked very, very well. You can see how close these cars are. It's not parking itself, so that's good. It's just going down this narrow street. I'm paying attention while holding the camera. Or I should say my phone. It's going really, really well. And it's basically going to back itself all the way down like this without hitting the curb, without hitting this car, or that car, or the car behind it. It's going to keep going all the way down like this. And I think this is genius. Better than any kind of self-driving feature that I've ever seen. But I think it's disengaged now, and I got to take over. But it did a great job.